Hello and welcome to the Browns Blitz. Today is Thursday, October 16th. This is episode number 317. I'm your host, Rod Bloom. Joining me today is my brother, Jeff. Hey, Jeff, how's it going?
Well, it's going all right, Rod. As good as it could be going at 1-5, right?
That's right. That's right. And, joining us tonight is our friend David Lee Morgan Jr. You can follow him on X when he's active, anyways. Follow him at David Lee Morgan. And David has left the premises. Okay. Hopefully we could get him back. We're having David back on because we had a few problems when we recorded last time, and we're hoping to have a better show of it this time. So hopefully David will join us here in a couple of minutes. But
An inauspicious start so far.
yeah, not exactly the way we wanted to kick things off, guys, but yeah, we'll get it going nonetheless. So
He'll jump back in.
yeah, we're hoping he'll jump right back in for us. But yeah, Jeff. So well, anyways, I can give the rest of David's intro, even though he's not here. David's the author of Breaking Through the Lines: The Murray and Motley Story, and we talked a lot about that last time we had him on, which was that was a few months ago, Jeff. So
yeah,
there's David.
Right after our 300th episode, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, he's back.
There he's back, David.
I saw the countdown went down and it was like 3, 2, and it just froze at 2.
Oh, jeez.
Well, I just gave you this great intro too, so welcome back to the show.
You can redo it. I'd love to hear it.
Yeah. David Lee Morgan Jr. Follow him at David Lee Morgan when he is active on X, and we're so glad to have you back, David. We love talking about your book, Breaking Through the Lines: The Murray and Motley Story, last time, and we're going to talk some Browns this time.
Okay.
But before we do that and get into other stuff, why don't you tell us a little bit about the book that you're working on now?
Yeah, sure. So right now I'm working on another book. Actually, you could pre-order it right now. It'll be out in August of 2026. It's called The LeBron Phenomenon, My Front Row Seat to History. And it's basically a book from my perspective of what it was like covering LeBron from, when he was in AAU basketball all the way through his high school career. And right before and up to his rookie year in the NBA, because when I covered him at the Beacon Journal, I was really one of the, there were other people who covered LeBron, but I really covered him the most throughout that his high school career at the Beacon Journal. And I did a book about him earlier, which was called LeBron James: The Rise of a Star, and that was basically more of a biography about LeBron, where he came from, where he grew up in Akron, and all of that. And then the second book I did was called King James, Shaq, and the Quest for an NBA Championship. And it was a book about when the Cavs picked up Shaq. The book was about, is this the piece that could help carry the Cavs into the championship, which obviously it didn't. But this book right here was more of just my perspective, because I had great stories of what it was like covering LeBron, from, meeting people from 60 Minutes, who wanted me to try to talk LeBron and his people into doing 60 Minutes. Having a producer from LA call me and ask me for a screenplay on my book. Meeting Steve Urkel from Family Matters. I mean, just a lot of the fun stories that I experienced that I had never written about. And it's kind of cool because it's funny. Like I think when LeBron was in the league after 10 years, I wanted to have that book written for 10 years, because that was kind of the hook that I was going to go with, 10 years. And then, it just didn't happen. And then I said, okay, I'll wait until 20 years. And that didn't happen. And then I figured, I should do this book before he retires. So we finally decided, let's get it out, and it looks like he may be retiring. Who knows? He might play another 2 or 3 years, but at least this book will be out where people could read some of the fun stories that I experienced while I was covering him.
That sounds like a great concept and a lot of fun for for people. A lot of obviously a lot of LeBron fans still around
Yeah.
Cleveland area, especially, and not just in Cleveland. So
Right. 'Cause he's
so
worldwide
excellent.
now. Yeah. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
So yeah, everybody. I assume people can go to your X at David Lee Morgan, or you have a website too, David.
Yeah, it's davidleemorganjr.com. The book's
Okay.
not on there yet. It's on my publisher's. It's TS Press. It's Tucker Press. So if you just go to Tucker Press, it's there. You'll be able to find the link there and pre-order.
Okay. Excellent. So okay, guys, we usually do our Blitz beverages segment tonight. I'm drinking a little something, but we're not going to take time to talk about that. So I did want to show you guys the mug that I tweeted pictures of. I picked this just so people can get perspective, because it's kind of a big mug. I got this at the Sauerkraut Festival in Waynesville, and it's one of those things where you're walking past the booth and you stop because they've only got one of them, and I had to buy this, and I got my thing on reverse, so you can see the dog there.
That's nice.
And the handle here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I like that.
It's all wood inside too. You can't really see inside of it, but
yeah.
Yeah. So I gotta be honest, I haven't drank any beer out of it yet.
Yeah.
But I will be. So
I like that. That's really nice.
Yeah,
Somebody
it's
spent
cool.
some time making that.
Yeah, they gave me good care instructions and all that, but they only had one, and they, when I bought it, they said, "Oh, there's several people have looked at that." One guy said he was coming back for it. I said, "Well, it's too late."
Yeah, too late. I got it.
Too late. So, anyways,
Cool.
Yeah. So guys, let's talk a little bit of Browns news. I guess the first thing was this the stadium matter being settled. And my phone went off, kind of boom, boom, boom. And, when this came out, and the first text I got was from Jeff. Jeff broke this story for me, which is kind of cool. So, and then I got a couple other texts on it too after that. But anyways, so I don't know why this took so long, guys, but it's taken care of essentially. Jimmy Haslam's paying $100 million to the city to tear down the old stadium.
Yeah, that's part of the 100 million is to demolish the existing building and prep it for future development. So the city's vision for the lakefront can come to fruition eventually. But part of it also, and I think that's only 20 to 25 million is actually for the site. The rest of it is all community investment, which I think is really cool. It's going to be for, helping kids out and neighborhoods and things like that, and as well as the lakefront. So I guess, Mayor Bibb and has some people sat down and had a couple Cokes, and they hammered out an agreement. Now they just have to get everybody to sign on the dotted line, but it seems like we'll have everything done, and we can look forward to things moving forward finally. It's a shame that it's so hard to make things happen, but we're going to get there eventually.
Yeah, it's interesting. I happen to be down on the lakefront on Monday. I think I could say this. I was helping what's his name, Evan Mobley. They were doing a commercial on for New Era caps, the new caps that are going to be coming out. And a friend of mine who is a filmmaker who we've worked together. Matter of fact, we worked together on the Marion Motley documentary. He was shooting that commercial, and he asked me to bring our basketball team down to be part of that commercial. So it was kind of cool. We got to hang out with Evan Mobley and shoot that commercial. And then, Boobie Gibson was there, who I hadn't seen, in a long time.
Nice.
But there were some officials from the mayor's office who were down there, and I had asked, I actually asked them, I said, so is it really happening? And they said, yeah, it's really happening. The stadium's going down. And like you were saying, Jeff, the thing they were talking about was there are a lot of, I don't want to reveal, not like I know anything, but they said that there were a lot of people from different cities who are coming in who are already, from major cities who are coming in, and they're interested in that lakefront and, developing that and bringing all kinds of shops and all of that. So obviously there are plans for that. I just, as a Browns fan, somebody who, dad went to high school with Paul Warfield and grown up watching, the Browns in the 70s, Mike Phipps, and, all of the, I just remember, going back that far, not that I'm that old, but to me, I don't know the ins and outs of why they're leaving. I understand it, but to me, I mean, it's going to be hard for me to kind of just look at that team and the memories that I had at the lakefront and try to kind of recreate that in Brook Park. I don't know how that's going to work. Who knows? I know people, some people are like me. Others are like, yeah, let's move forward like Jeff. And I get that. It's just the history of that stadium is what I'm going to miss, and what I'm sure everybody else is going to miss.
I'll certainly miss the atmosphere at the lakefront.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, David, I think that's what it is, right?
Mhm.
The tailgates, the community lot, the lakefront atmosphere of a Browns game. But if we're being honest, I mean, the existing stadium, it genuinely has earned the moniker Factory of Sadness. It is a horrible stadium. It was put up in a hurry. It's badly in need of repairs already. And let's face it, the track record there has been abysmal. So as far as honoring the team that you and I grew up with, David, that we want to believe this team can be again, it's never happened there. So
Right.
I don't feel bad at all about them reinventing themselves again. And I hope that being in this world-class facility and everything else working out will help the organization move forward.
Yeah.
But also, as a fan of Cleveland, the city, I'm excited about what the lakefront will look like.
Yeah. You know what, Jeff, that's a great point. You're right. I never really looked at it from that perspective. I'm looking at it from my perspective of missing that old nostalgic, Marlboro Man in the end zone, and that,
Right.
that clock, that old clock in the dog pound and all of that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you, but you're right. Since then, I mean, we haven't had any success since, that Bernie Kosar era. That really didn't last long. I mean, actually, go back to the Brian Sipe days, when, the AFC Central was just always the Browns and the Steelers playing for it that last, and every once in a while the Oilers. But yeah, you're right. I mean, I kind of like that. That kind of gives me a little bit of, let's just maybe start something new, and maybe that new building, maybe it will bring that something, because you're right. I mean, let's be honest. I go to the games and I'm like hoping that it's almost like it's the same thing over and over and over and over. We got to hope that we got to hope our kicker makes an extra point so that we keep it at 7 points. It's not a 6, you got to hope that we could not jump off sides on 3rd and 5. You got to hope that on 3rd and 5 that the wide receiver is going to run a route that's 6 yards instead of 4.5.
Right.
And he's actually going to catch the ball.
And and then if you could do that, then you got to make sure you catch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah. It's time to wipe the slate clean and start fresh, I think.
I could see that. I could see that.
That's true. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I think did they start the Ring of Honor with the new stadium, or does that go back further?
You know what?
Yeah.
I think it was started. I could be wrong, but I don't remember it at the old stadium. I want to say
I don't either.
At the new stadium.
I think that's new, but that I was going to say that's something they can carry to the new, to the dome
Sure.
too. So it's
Oh
not,
yeah, oh yeah.
it's nothing that that's pretty much been it. It's nothing. It's not like there's a ton of great memories at the
No,
stadium.
no,
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. No.
no. There aren't
So, yeah.
any. I mean, for me, I mean, I covered the first game there. I remember running into. I remember. I mean, going back, I remember. While the stadium was being under construction, we got a chance to walk with Chris Palmer, and we had our hard hats, and we would walk through and kind of saw the construction of what they were doing. The field wasn't even in yet, and that was kind of cool because I wrote a story about it at the Beacon. And I remember the first game running into Drew Carey and Ryan Stiles underneath, because I think basically Drew Carey kicked off that 99 season. So that was kind of cool. But other than that, there really hasn't been any of those moments,
Right.
it-
The honeymoon was
Yeah.
over quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll be honest with you guys. I've watched most of these games, and I'm amazed at how many people can remember stuff from games in some of these seasons that were bad seasons. I'm like, man,
Right.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I remember players, and I remember a lot of the big games, but man, a lot of it's been pretty forgettable football.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, boy, we really went down the with that one anyway. So let's go. We got a couple other news things here, guys. So the trade actually happened pretty much as almost right after we finished recording last week, or
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
even as we were finishing up, the Greg Newsome to the Jags for Tyson Campbell and a swap of draft picks. We don't nothing big on the
Yeah.
draft picks.
Right.
And I think a lot of Browns fans mistakenly thought that we traded Denzel Ward based on the reaction that this trade got initially.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody's like, we got, what are they doing and all this stuff. And all the people that have hated on Greg Newsome since he's been a Brown, all of a sudden, Greg
Right.
Newsome's the best corner in the league.
Right. Right.
And we gave him away for a box of popcorn.
Yeah.
Like, hold on a minute, guys.
Yeah.
First of all, he's going to be a free agent unless they, re-signed him, and Tyson Campbell is
For big bucks.
yeah,
Right,
for
right.
big bucks, and the Tyson Campbell contract's pretty good, and Tyson Campbell's played some good corner throughout his career, and
Yep.
I know he's had a few issues here lately, but I was going to go and look at the PFF grades for both guys in their first game with their new teams. I didn't do that, so
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know how they played, but really doesn't matter. I didn't think this was a bad trade.
No, I think this was a trade where it worked out best for both teams. I mean, it was a win-win for both organizations. I think that the Browns picked up a player that gives us some certainty across from Denzel over the next season or two, depending on whether they pick up his option or his, I guess, last 2 years of his contract are open-ended. I think from a fit standpoint, he is more in the Emerson build and play style than Newsome was. So
He's got a little more length to him.
yeah. So I think the Emerson injury really kind of forced the Browns to make a move like this. That they needed a number two with that type of build that could take on the bigger receivers in the league. And this gives them some contractual certainty where, if they had gone and re-signed Greg Newsome, he would have gotten $20 million a year. So, the numbers are out there. People have been talking about this for a week already, but I just want to say that sometimes a trade benefits both teams, and I think this one did.
Yeah. I think it was that time for Newsome too. I mean, like you were saying, I was getting to the point where I was just tired of seeing, him not making plays, giving up plays, and nothing. I mean, he's a professional. What was he? Five years in the league? I can't remember how many years he's been in
This
the
is
league.
fifth.
The interesting
right?
thing, yeah, that's the interesting thing is that Greg Newsome and Tyson Campbell were both taken in the 2001 or 2021 draft, excuse me, 7 picks apart.
Oh wow!
Newsome was our first round pick, and Campbell was the Jags' second round pick. But yeah, seven picks apart. And if you went back and looked at the pre-draft scouting on these guys, they were both very highly ranked corners. And can both be great corners at times, but neither one has had tremendous success consistently.
And it
for
goes
various
back,
reasons.
Yeah, it goes back to what you were saying. A change of scenery. How many times you've seen guys, leave a certain organization and then they go out. I mean, they have the talent, but maybe they get fixed in that mindset. That happens a lot here with the Cleveland Browns. The guys get in this mindset, and they go somewhere else and they excel. That change of scenery just changes everything for them, because obviously the talent is there. It's just it's that mindset.
So we just had a question: do we re-sign Emerson in the chat? My thinking is probably not, because we've now solved that number 2 spot, and I think what we really need is a slot corner, and that's not going to be MJ Emerson. So the Browns will be in the market for a third cornerback to play primarily in the slot in the offseason.
Well, I think it'd be interesting because MJ Emerson, I'm kind of blanking, and he had an Achilles injury, torn Achilles, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I was trying to make sure my thinking was correct. I mean, that's an injury that guys don't always come back from in 1 year. So you never know. Yeah, especially a corner.
So tough injury for a corner.
Yeah, so you never know. There could be something that could happen with him as far as the Browns, if he's able to come back from that injury, of course. So yeah. Speaking of injuries, David Bell announced his retirement today. 24 years old. It's I feel bad for him. He did. I feel bad for him, but on the other side, I'm glad he's making a smart decision, because it sounds like he really didn't have a choice.
Right.
Based on whatever happened medically, he was told, you can't play football anymore.
Yeah.
But 24 years old, he's a guy who, I mean, he had his moments here in Cleveland in a couple games, and he also had people who really didn't like him and want him on the team. But I kind of wish he would have had a little bit more of a shot here. But
was he from Western Michigan? No, he wasn't from Western Michigan, was he? Where did he go?
Purdue, right, Jeff?
Purdue, yeah.
Purdue,
yeah.
Purdue, yeah, Purdue.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He was a guy who I think could have done something in the right circumstances, but just didn't work out. And then the injuries kind of hit him right when he probably would have had a chance to maybe get some playing time. But
just the curse of the third round wide receiver.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So,
and of all the places, you come here, you come here. Like I was just looking at this before we got on. Like I was really hoping, I knew this wouldn't happen, but I was really rooting for that Florio kid from Kent State. I was really rooting for him. And it's just, when you're in Cleveland, that's something like that happens. It's very tough to bounce back and make that squad.
Yeah.
Well, he's on the practice squad now, so maybe we'll see him at some point this year.
Well, I thought I was looking for that. I thought it said, I saw that they re-signed him, but then I thought that they said they cut him, but maybe that was when he got injured.
He got cut. Yeah, he got cut at the end of training camp when he had the he had the injury.
Yeah.
And then they signed him back. Yeah, they signed him back to the practice squad.
Good.
So yeah, we may see him yet. we're only carrying 5 wide
happens.
receivers right now, so
Right.
we're a little thin.
Right. Right.
Well, yeah, I mean, only I was going to say other than Jerry Jeudy, our wide receivers only probably average about 2 targets a game. So,
Yeah.
Right.
so yeah, not a whole lot there otherwise.
Not a lot of
whole lot of
opportunities.
opportunity there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear that Joel Bitonio is going to pass Joe Thomas for 7th on the list of games? I think it's games played. I might be wrong. It might be games started for the Browns.
Wow.
With his start this coming this Sunday.
Wow, that's great.
I did
Yeah.
not know that, and that's a very impressive statistic. I mean,
Very,
given what
yeah.
you're talking about. Wow, and it was quiet. I mean, I don't want to say it's quiet, but just I had no idea that he was sneaking up on that.
Yeah.
It's impressive. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So I've got another question here, guys. Sorry, I'm going to pull this up really quick here. This is from I'm on the wrong page. This is from Matthew Lubbock, and question for the panel.
Okay.
Since we've gone down the drain a little bit tonight, anyways, guys. A question for the panel: who has been the most disappointing Browns player thus far, and why? Not limited to just players on the active roster. So I'm going to say he's talking about this season.
This season, not all time.
Right.
Yeah, not all time. We could talk for hours and argue about who the most disappointing player all time is.
Yeah, there's a lot of candidates for both.
Yeah. So, any thoughts on?
I'll let you go first, David.
Well, I don't know. You guys go first. Let me think about that for a second.
Yeah.
Most disappointing this
trying to
season,
think.
huh?
Yeah.
I mean, I would have to say collectively, it's the quarterback position. I mean that's an easy way out, but and the only reason I say that is because I'm a Shador fan, and I admire Joe Flacco. I never was a Dylan Gabriel fan. Nothing against him. I just, his size, and I don't care about the experience and all of that. It just watching him in college, I just never thought he would be a quality NFL quarterback. And so it just all goes back to the quarterback play. We've never had one thing I don't understand is, you look at some of these other teams in the league and they'll start a Bo Nix or they'll start a rookie quarterback and they'll give them a shot. And it just seems like we don't do that. And then we're just in the same situation year after year after year after year. And
Yeah.
that's the biggest disappointment for me, is because every year we're talking about who the starting quarterback is going to be, and everything starts with that. And we could never get anything going because we don't have a starting quarterback. So for me,
Right.
until we shore that up, I don't think it's going to be hard to have any success when we don't have a quarterback where you say, okay, he struggled, but we're going with him, and he's young and he's going to get better. And we never have that. And so that's the biggest disappointment for me. I mean, we go into training camp with 5 quarterbacks, which was, to me, that was a disaster. It was a disaster. I mean, so I don't know.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, definitely.
Two things you can always count on Steelers week. There will be a quarterback controversy.
Yeah.
And there will be screams to fire the head coach.
Yeah.
Because when you lose 22 games in a row, that's kind of like losing to Michigan.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I think for me, the most disappointing part has been the veterans on this team. And the ones I think the most obvious ones are, we mentioned Jerry Jeudy. When you don't have anything else in the wide receiver room, man, we really needed him to step up and lead.
Yeah.
And
he's leading the league in drops.
Leading the league in drops is not the way we wanted him to lead.
Yeah.
And then David Njoku, I feel like he's back to where he was 2 or 3 seasons ago, where he's not the guy that we thought he was. So and then it was really obvious in the Pittsburgh game. But those two guys, you needed them to lead this offense, and they just haven't. So that for me, that's very disappointing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I could probably name other guys, but I mean, one guy that comes to mind is Cornelius Lucas, who I thought would be a guy that they could plug in, and
Yeah,
appears
he's
to be
been
a guy
disappointing.
who just collecting the check, or has just lost it, or just never had it in the first place. A guy who I think they were counting on to be, a big time backup for the
Yeah.
for the team, but he just exemplifies the problems with the offensive line right now.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
They needed somebody like him to step up, and it just hasn't happened.
Yeah.
So it's hard to point to anybody on the defense, as far as being disappointing, because I think those guys have played pretty darn well.
Yeah,
So,
they've been playing hard. I mean, there's only
Yep.
so much you could do when your offense isn't sustaining drives. They're dropping balls. You're making plays. You're making stops 3rd and 4. You're making the offense punt, and you're going 3 and out, and then you're back on the field.
And Jeremy says Michael Hall. Guys, I don't know what's going on with Michael Hall. I don't know if he's ever going to play again, or if his injury is more serious than what we think, but he is like questionable every week, and we haven't seen him yet. And I know that defensive tackle is not the greatest area of need right now on this team, but man, wouldn't you guys like to get at least a glimpse of Michael Hall out there?
Yeah.
And it's disappointing. I mean, if it's an injury and there's nothing you could do about it, I understand, but it just kind of feels like they're, like it's like he's almost going to play, and this has been going on all season.
Yeah.
It just kind of seems strange. That's all.
He should have been on IR. The fact that he wasn't put on IR tells you that there was a disconnect somewhere between the medical staff and the coaching staff and the player on how serious the injury was, or how the recovery was going. Because if they thought that he wasn't going to be available through the first 6 weeks of the season, now 7, they would have put him on IR instead of having him occupy a roster spot this whole time. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And the thing, it's just, I don't want to say incompetence, because it's just, those are the things that happen so often that it's almost like there's no sustainability at all, and that leads to why this team is the way it is year after year after year. I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
You watch a 4:00 game or a 7:00 game or 8:30, 8 o'clock game on Sunday, and then you see some games and you're like, that's how games should flow. This game looks entertaining. Guys are making plays. They're executing. Flags aren't being thrown all over the place. And then you see our guys, you see the Browns, it's just almost like you're driving a car in first gear and jerking. Like even a first down, sometimes you feel like
that's a great analogy.
Every first down seems like it was a grind just to get that first down. And then you're thinking, there's no way that this could go on a whole game and win a game this way. You can't do it. And so now you end up having to hope for, holding, you're just hoping for things that'll happen just to be able to stay in a game. And, an organization like that, once you start playing that way and players are thinking that way, like you said, Jeff, it's hard to get out of that. And you look at where we are 20 something years, 30 years after, that's where we are.
Sure is.
Okay, guys, we're going to take a quick break here, and then we're going to come back and look at some games ahead. So we'll be right back with more of the Browns Blitz. And we're back with our guest, David Lee Morgan Jr. And guys, let's do you guys even want to talk about the game that happened Sunday? When your rookie quarterback throws 50 times against the Steelers, and you're and your rookie running back who looks really good gets 10 carries, you don't even have to look at the scoreboard. You know what happened. You know you didn't win the game.
Yeah.
But I have a question for you guys, and then if you want to give other thoughts on the game, that's fine. If not, we can just move on. Do these games in Pittsburgh where we go in and get our butts kicked, I'm talking we like I got a mouse in my pocket. I know I'm not the Browns. Do these games help the young players in any way?
You mean help them in you mean, what do you mean? Like,
do they learn anything? Do they pick up anything from playing in these games? I mean, do they, does it make them stronger? Do they learn what, do they learn from watching Pittsburgh? Do they learn that they shouldn't do certain things, or is there anything to be gained by the way these games go? Because we always the Browns are always getting beat in Pittsburgh, and it really doesn't even seem to matter what players Pittsburgh has.
Right. I don't know. That's a good question because, we know what that rivalry is all about. Going back, it's never been. That's gone. That's gone. So yeah. I don't think, for us, we're like, it's the Steelers Browns. It's not the same rivalry anymore. And so the Steelers don't even look at it like that. I don't think it's
not a rivalry when one team wins all the time.
No,
right?
no. So it's, it just, in my opinion, from the Steelers perspective, it's just, hey, we know we're going to handle the Cleveland Browns. We know that they're a dysfunctional organization. We know that the fans will get hyped for this because they think it's still 1978 or 79 or 81.
Right.
And that's for us. That's how we feel. That's why we put our flags up there, house divided, but really yeah. There's no rivalry. The Steelers. I mean, you hear some of their players talk. They're like the Cleveland Browns. Oh, we're just going to go in there and do what we do, on the daily, and that's what they right. do. So, yeah. I don't think from the younger standpoint, like the rookies, I don't think they even understand. There's no level of it's the Browns Steelers game. It's we're playing the Steelers, and they know how strong the Steelers have been over the years. Even if they struggle in the playoffs or don't make the playoffs, it's still a great organization, in my opinion. That's why they're always winning. That's why Mike Tomlin has been there forever, because that organization is strong. And I don't think that game does anything for the players, in my opinion. As far as, is it a hyped up game? Is it this? I don't think so.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think the players, even the veterans, I don't think the veterans have any sense of the rivalry anymore. Right. It's just another game on the schedule, and it's kind of like going and playing your big brother. You're going to get your ass kicked, but right. I think they can probably get a feel for how physical the NFL game is yeah. when they go to Pittsburgh. I mean, we came out of this game with only 2 concussions, which is probably a record for a Steelers game. I mean, they seem to always knock a few of our guys out during the game. And we used to return that, but now we just shake their hand and say, hey, good hit.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. It's really not a rivalry.
Not really.
I mean, as far as this particular game goes, I think it underlined for me the issues with execution with our football team. And it's part of it, I guess, is because of the youth and inexperience. Part of it is the lack of consistency at any of the leadership positions, or lack of leadership overall in some cases. But just, I'll call it lack of situational awareness. David Njoku gets hurt in the last 2 minutes of the first half. Instead of getting off the field, he lays down, and now that cost us our 3rd timeout. I mean, yeah. You have to be smarter than that as a veteran and realize that that's hurting your team. You're trying to run a 2-minute offense.
Yeah.
You can't lay down on the field and force your team to take its last time out.
Yeah.
right?
It's true.
Getting getting the guy getting blocked into the Pittsburgh punter when you mentioned this before, David, when it's 4th and 4, right?
Yeah.
And you've just stopped Pittsburgh. It's 4th and 4. They're going to punt, and now you decide to go all out, and you get blocked into the punter, and it gives Pittsburgh a first down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Pittsburgh goes down in that drive and scores a touchdown. And that really, in my mind, that was the end of the game.
Yeah.
After that stupid move.
I mean, you guys know it was a bad call, though. But you also know that in Pittsburgh, you're not going to get that call.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. As a player, you've got to be smarter than that. You've got to realize that, hey, we're getting the ball back. We don't need a block here. We don't need a block punt. We just need to
But your
hold our
special
position.
your special teams coach is calling for the block, though. So they're trying to do what they're being told to do. So I don't necessarily blame the player in that case.
If Bubba Ventrone is going for the block in that situation, he's the next guy should be fired, because that was stupid. That actually cost them the game. And that, for me, that was, if it's not on the player, it's on the coach, it's on somebody. But that's stupid situational awareness. You're not aware of where you are in the game. Okay, they were going into halftime. If they had that extra time out, if they could have scored a touchdown there, they're within 2 points potentially of Pittsburgh. They have to settle for a field goal. Pittsburgh goes and gets a touchdown on that drive after that block punt, and that took us out of any chance in that football game. So it's just guys just not being aware of what's going on around. I mean, for me, the real kicker was Isaiah Bond running across the goal line, and Gabriel throws the ball and it pops him in the ear hole.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
I've seen that a few thousand times already. Yeah,
look for the football, right? So that's the problem with this organization, and that's why you can't be competitive with Pittsburgh. You do it to yourself.
I understand that, Jeff, but still, I mean, the rule, the official was who talking to the announcers was saying that should not have been a flag, okay? But it is a flag because you're in Pittsburgh, okay? I'm just tired of things not being called straight up in Pittsburgh. You know, the Browns have no chance. So I think if we're talking about the players and what they can learn from this, it's that you can't go into Pittsburgh. You can't go into some of these environments and hope that you're going to get a break and that break's going to win the game for you, because you're not going to ever get a break in Pittsburgh. Okay.
Right. Pittsburgh had 10 penalties in that game. They averaged 4. They had 10 flags thrown on them in that game. It's not about the officiating.
I'm not saying this. I'm just talking about that one call, Jeff. I'm not saying the Browns lost because of the officiating. I'm saying that one call was bad. That's it. And I'm saying that the players need to learn from this, that you can't count on a ball bouncing your way, because when you go into Pittsburgh, you have to earn everything. Nothing is going to go your way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can't count on getting a call. You can't count on anybody letting something happen. You can't count on the ball bouncing your way, because these things almost never happen in Pittsburgh. Okay.
Right.
I'm not saying officiating is always bad, but you're not generally going to get favorable calls there. You're just not.
Right. And I would like for it to be the same way in Cleveland if we could play well enough to earn that right. But Pittsburgh has earned that right in their stadium.
Yeah, I don't know why officials can't just call games straight up, though. Call it the same for both teams. That's really all I expect. And that's really all I want. So, anyways, so yeah, I think we beat the Pittsburgh thing to death, Jeff. Let's hopefully, I hope it was a bad game. Yeah, hopefully David will jump back on with us here. We're going to talk. We're going to talk a little bit about this game coming up and against the Dolphins on Sunday at 1:00 in Cleveland in the pouring rain, and we will be there. So in the rain in our ponchos.
Soaking wet.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Can't
yeah,
wait.
we'll be soaking wet. It's going to be a blast, guys. And we still have a pretty decent record when we're in attendance. So so I'm feeling pretty good about the outcome of this game. But man, the Browns are favored by 2.5 at home, Jeff. And what's the typical at home is what, 3 points?
Yeah.
So they're not, Vegas isn't exactly loving the Browns in this game. So
Yeah. This is
there's
for
David.
all intents and purposes, this is a push because you've got 2 1-5 teams.
Yeah.
They're giving us.
Go ahead, Jeff. Sorry.
I was going to say they're giving us the 2.5, 3 points just because of the conditions, I think.
Is that what
Probably
the line
so.
is? I didn't see the line yet.
Browns are favored by 2.5, and the over/under is 40. I'm just telling you guys, I'm taking the under by a lot.
Heck yeah.
40 points? There's no way. There's no way. Neither one of these offenses is scoring 20 points in this game in the pouring rain.
Right. And also, well, I'll try to, table that because I do want to just talk about that. But when my internet, I don't know what happened. You guys were talking about that 4th and 4 roughing the kicker.
We were arguing about that, but yeah.
But no, and I get both points. But Jeff, it just goes back to that. At some point, where do you lay that blame? I mean, these things happen continually. I mean, you look at some of the games when we were competitive 2-3 years ago, where we're in a game, Kansas City, different other games where you're like, okay, or we stopped them. Okay, it's 4th and 7. Okay, all we need to do is not rough the kicker. Okay, we got to. And then when the ball's in the air, what's the next thing you're hoping? Please
don't fumble it.
Please don't fumble.
Yeah, you're right.
It's like those things. It's like you feel that way almost every important possession, all game, and it's like when you're feeling that way, it's because the team is playing that way, and an efficient NFL football team that's making plays and executing, those things don't happen to them as frequently as they do with the Browns. So that's the most frustrating thing, because it's coming and it's going to happen, and it's going to be one of those things where, like you said, Jeff, Njoku staying on the field when really, if he was thinking, he I wish he had that Nick Chubb type of thinking sometimes.
Yeah, run out of bounds at the 1.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, always thinking about the team. Yeah,
always thinking about the team.
Definitely.
And then you guys were talking about the 40 points. We're talking about that. How in the world do you, where do you see 20 points coming from? You're going to have to score quick.
Right.
Where's that coming from? That's not going to happen.
We haven't been able to score 20 points on a good field.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, there could be 50, 60 mile an hour winds too for the kickers to contend with. So I don't know. A certain amount of that, David, I think is just inherent to the NFL game. And it's obviously worse with bad teams than it is with good teams. But every week you see things that, this game shouldn't hinge on interpreting whether something is a catch or not, which changes from year to year, silly things like that. I think the NFL just likes that to a certain extent, just to enhance the drama and give everybody a chance to win. They want games decided on the last play. And it's not necessarily the best experience for the fan. Certainly heightens the drama and keeps you on the edge of your seat and everything. But man, you'd like to have a low stress game once in a while.
Low stress game, and I mean, and that's the whole thing. Every week it's such a high stress.
And that's just in the first quarter.
Yeah. I won't even. I'm going to tell you, this was probably one of the first times in a while that after I watched that first, now here I am. I wish I got my gear on. I've got my, jersey, got, my two flags outside. I've got my goalpost outside. Everybody knows I always have everything set up on Saturdays and Sundays. After that first drive, I turned it off, didn't watch the rest of the game. I watched highlights. But I said, that's it. There's just, after a while, it's like, okay, I can't let them do this to me this week.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Or
I
at
get
least,
that.
or at least I don't feel like going through that this week.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
I get that.
It's interesting. I mean, I think Jeff and I both kind of said before the season started, we were going to just try to watch the games and try to enjoy the season and, enjoy the young guys and everything. And, I mean, I think we've tried, at least I have tried to do that to a point, but in some of these games, it's been a challenge.
Yeah.
When the offense has just really, really struggled, and it's been exactly as you've stated, David. It's like chugging in first gear where you're just going down the road and you're wondering, I mean, you're watching every player. It's like first down, they get 3 yards. You're like, oh man, I hope they get 4 on this second down or we're done.
Yeah.
Right. It's like if they get stuffed and it's like 3rd and 5, there's no way we'll get it.
Right.
It's how you feel because you feel like they're going to throw a 4-yard pass or they're going to, or they're going to put 8 guys in the box and they're going to have a run for no gain.
Yeah.
It's just, it's been harder to watch than what I expected. I mean, I really expected this offense, regardless of who the quarterback was, to take a step forward.
I agree.
This season because of some of the guys who were added. And because of the Ken Dorsey being gone and because the offense having some changes and because of Judkins and because, they brought in a little line depth. Go ahead, Jeff.
It all starts with the line, right? I mean, we thought that going back to Stefanski's style, his 12 personnel, that would help the line play better and the run blocking would improve. We'd have a run game, right? That has not materialized. And we knew the first 6 games were going to be tough.
Right.
And not ideal in terms of building cohesiveness with a lot of young guys. I mean, 14 rookies on this team, Rod. And they're all playing.
Good.
With the exception of Shedeur. They're all playing, right? It's been tough watching the first 6 weeks. I think now that we're playing some teams that are more at our level over the next few weeks, we should be able to have a little bit more fun with the games just because we won't be blown out. Right. The Ravens game was not fun. The Steelers game was not fun. We should have some fun with the Dolphins because, let's face it, they're one of the worst defenses in the league. Yeah. And that plays right into our hands with having the worst offense in the league. So it might be painful at times, but at least there's a chance of having a few good plays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
definitely. You're right. The reality, I mean, when you look back at it, and everybody was talking about the Browns' first 6 games, when you just reel them off and we look back and we say, wow, oh, you know what? We're excited about this season. We're excited about, Flacco coming back and everything. We got some, nice rookies and everything. But then really when you really analyze it and dissect it, people were saying they could go 0-6 or 1-5. And that's where we are.
Yeah.
So it's almost, it's what we expected. Really, I mean, you could say we could have stole the game from Cincinnati, but
it's not a surprise that we're at 1-5.
It's not a surprise that we're at 1-5. So when you think about it, really, I mean, there was no like, oh, we could go 3-3. That was a stretch. That's a stretch.
Yeah.
So I guess when you look at it, it's where everybody expected. Now, did you expect the team to be so inefficient at times and so lethargic and just no, I didn't expect that at all. I expected us to be competitive in all of these games and still be maybe 2-4, 1-5, not 0-6. But we're not competitive.
I expected us
Yeah.
to start the season scoring points with
Yeah.
with the what we just said about the offensive line, the veteran players, Judy and Njoku sort of being the two key targets, and Flacco being able to throw the ball down the field. I
Yeah.
figured we'd score some points. It wouldn't,
Yeah.
we wouldn't necessarily be in games all the time, but we would have some 300-yard offensive games. And we would score some points. The fact that
Yeah.
this
Mhm.
offense hasn't scored any points is completely an outlier to me. I can't
Yeah.
explain it. It doesn't make any sense why we can't score points.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we're bad,
Yeah,
but we're
and
not that bad.
we shouldn't be. And now you know now any the veteran quarterbacks that we had in camp are all gone, and you're expecting a rookie or two rookies to be able to perform behind a bad offensive line, wide receivers that aren't performing.
Yeah.
I mean, it just feels like it's gotten worse, and there's really not much hope for this offense really to get better. I don't know. You know, I mean, we can expect Dylan Gabriel to do better. We can think, oh, maybe Shadur in a few weeks can go out there and maybe he'll play better. But
Yeah.
really, I mean, I don't know if you put, I mean, name a quarterback. I don't know if you put anybody in there, how good they're going to look in this offense right
Yeah.
now.
Not against the teams that we've played. That's why
Probably
the
not.
the fact that Flacco flamed out so early was really not ideal for putting a rookie out there.
No.
If we were just going to a rookie now, and Flacco had been able to give us at least a little consistency first 6 games, and whether you want him or not, just to feel like you had at least a decent offense,
It'd be
in
different.
terms of cohesiveness and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Guys catching the ball and
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah, then
Yeah.
you'd feel a little bit better about sticking a rookie into it. But for Gabriel to have to play these last 2 games was really a bad way to start a rookie's career.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, I give the kid tons of credit for not turning the ball over,
Mhm.
for staying on schedule, as Stefanski likes to say, throwing the ball away when he needed to. But yeah, they've got to take they've got to take the chains off of him. They've got to open up the offense this week. I know,
Got
in
to.
60 mile an hour winds is not the best time either.
Yeah. To throw the ball downfield, yeah, probably
But
not.
you're playing a really bad defense, and I think we've just got to take a few chances against this bad defense and really find out what Dylan Gabriel can do, because I don't think he's that far from his ceiling at this point. I think we're probably going to find out in the next couple of weeks what his ceiling is, and I don't think we're that far away from it.
Yeah.
And then it's time to find out the same thing about Shadur Sanders. Maybe neither one of them gets us there. More than likely, neither one of them gets us there. But at least we should be able to figure out some of these other problems with our offense and know what we need in the offseason to turn this thing around next year.
Yeah.
Inject some talent into the organization
And
on
I'm
the
not,
offensive side.
I'm not a Dylan Gabriel detractor or anything like that. I just
No, I'm not either.
no, yeah, and I like him. I want him to do well. I want him to do
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
I was just rooting for Sanders just because I felt like he was just a little bit more athletic, could get out. I mean, he does some of the things. There were times when, during preseason where you got to say, okay, you're not in college anymore. You're not going to outrun some of these defensive tackles at the edge. You're not going to be able.
Right.
They're going to track you down. I just felt like he could just be almost kind of like a Randall Cunningham type guy. He's just getting out and he's making things happen and keeping defenses on their toes. I like Dylan Gabriel when he came in. He looked really solid. That one when he started in preseason. I'm like, okay, this is our guy. And but I'm like, I don't know if he's the answer. I don't know if Shadur's the answer. And we go right back to where we've always been. Like, why is this such a hard problem to solve? And if we're going to go with whomever, let's go with it and let's stay with it and make the right pick. But I don't know what it is that's preventing us, and every year having to have that guy with that jersey with about 45 or 50 pieces of tape changing the quarterback's name on his jersey.
Yeah, we're a little tired of that jersey.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Shedeur clearly has more upside. The question is, how ready is he? You know, how much time does he need to grow? You know, how much time does he need to wait before he plays? You know, and, or how much playing time does he need to get close to his, I guess, ceiling? You know, to know what he actually has. So, you know, so if the Browns play Dillon Gabriel another, you know, 3-4 weeks, and then that would give Sanders what if we go? They played 5 games. If they play say 3 more, that's 8. So if Shedeur gets to play 7, 8, 9 games this season, you might get a good glimpse at him. But it depends how ready he is. It depends what pieces he has out there with him. You know, really how good evaluation you really get to have of him. But I think everybody wants to see it anyways.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. I think we're going to see plenty of him.
Yeah, I think so.
It's just a matter, like you said, when is the right time to do it?
Yeah.
It'd be nice if we could answer some of these other questions too. Get somebody who can actually catch the ball so you can evaluate a quarterback.
Yeah. That's been disappointing. I mean, wow, I never thought we'd be that.
It really has been. Yeah. You got to catch the ball, and I mean the offensive line is an issue, and that's probably just going to continue into the especially next season. So
it's not going to get better soon.
No, it's not going to get better soon. So, so that stuff's all going to work together as they try to figure out the quarterback position. So, it should be an interesting game, guys. You know, I mean, Tua's got 12 touchdown passes and 7 picks, so he's not afraid to just kind of force that ball a little bit. Their running backs got about the same numbers as Judkins, HN. Tyreek Hill's on IR. Of course, it's going to be windy. Waddle's obviously a good receiver, but their defense is, I think, the worst in the league against the run. So and not very good overall. But it's going to be pouring rain. So should be interesting. So, so again, Browns favored by 2.5, and the over/under is 40. Are you guys ready to give some score predictions for this game? And you're allowed to add in, David, any, you know, if you want to say anything special as far as what players might accomplish or anything, you're allowed to do that too. The guest gets to go first. So,
okay.
So,
well, like Jeff was saying, I don't foresee us, you know, moving that ball up and down the field. I don't think this offense is gonna change overnight. They're still gonna struggle, and then with the conditions that we're expecting, you know, I'm looking at 17. I'm looking at like maybe 17-14 Browns.
17-14. So you're going under a bit.
Yes.
31 on the total. Okay. Yeah. All right, Jeff, what do you think?
All right. Well, David just about nailed my prediction, so I'm going to change it. Look, I think kicking's going to be extremely difficult in this game. I'm hopeful that the weather's going to be better than they're predicting, because I'm not.
Because we're going to be in it. Yeah.
Well, I'm not someone who enjoys sitting in the weather at my age, so I'm really hoping it's a lot better. But I'm thinking that kicking's going to be really tough, so it's probably going to be a ground and pound type of game, and I'm going to go with 12-9 Browns.
12-9 Browns. All right. All right. And by the way, we know the score of the Steelers Browns game was 23-9. Jeff, you had Pittsburgh winning 27-10. So we're going to give you the win for last week. I know you're not happy about taking that one, but you did predict it. You were pretty close on that score prediction. So, so Jeff, you're a little optimistic about the weather. I'm really with you guys on the score. I'm just thinking it's just going to be a muck fest. So I got the Browns winning 10-6, and just kind of an ugly one.
Crawl under me.
Hey, these are some.
I had it written. I had it written down, and I won't be surprised if that 6 for the Dolphins is a missed extra point. So
yeah.
That's what I'm figuring.
Yeah, right.
Definitely. So yeah.
Wow.
We'll just see how bad the weather is, but it'd be nice to get a win, if assuming that we're right, guys. We want to be right on this one. I think it'd be just refreshing, hopefully for everybody to see the team get a win, however it happens.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, realistically, we look at it. They had a rough 6 games. 1-5. You go 2-5. String. 1 or 2 in the next 4 games, and now you're kind of like you're kind of flirting with a 3-4 season. So you could really change kind of things a little bit if you want to try to be optimistic, but it's got to start. It's got to start this weekend. You gotta pull this one out.
Jeremy thinks it's going to be the first game of the year over 20 points.
Scores stink.
He says 27-10, and he says these scores stink.
I love it.
We hope we see a little more scoring. It'd be more fun.
They're horrible scores, but
they're terrible.
Jeremy? What are you gonna do, Jeremy?
I think we're due for a stinker, but I think we're gonna win it. So as long as we win, man.
Right.
That's right. Just win, baby.
Yeah, just win, baby.
That's right. So well, all right, guys. Well, we're gonna hope for a Browns win. So let's first of all, everybody needs to check out David's website, or just go to his X at David Lee Morgan. You gave the information on the website earlier.
Yeah. But hit me up on social media. I'm on there more than I am on my website, and just busy trying to finish the book. It's almost done. You could pre-order it. It's about 95% done. It's what's been fun with that book is in doing the research, just looking back at some of LeBron's his career and some of the things that I experienced and that I kind of didn't forget about, but kind of remembered as I was writing and researching. And then it just like, wow, because I had a lot of it written for the 10-year book. And then from there, I continued to write for the 20-year book, and then just didn't feel right because he was still in the league and still killing it. So I was like, well, we'll wait. But now that he's kind of coming down, it was a fun ride to relive the 2000s, because back then somebody even asked me, they said, so you have a lot of pictures with LeBron. And I said, actually, no, because, back then the cell phones didn't have, there were, you couldn't take pictures.
Yeah. That's too long ago.
Whoever took the pictures, the people who were taking pictures were our photographers at the Beacon Journal, and then they would have to go develop those. So it wasn't like and I think maybe around LeBron's senior years when you would get that flip phone, but you couldn't take any pictures on it. It would just flip. So it was fun to relive all of that. And so,
Yep.
once that comes out, maybe you could have me back on sometime next summer and we could talk about that.
Sounds good.
That would be great. Yeah. That would be
So
great.
can maybe we can break some news here, David? You think there's going to be a third time in Cleveland before it's all said and done with LeBron?
No.
You want
I
to think
don't
about
see-
that for a minute?
No, I don't think it'll happen at all. I don't think so. I mean,
Yeah.
It
always
probably
seems
would've
to
hap-
keep-
Yeah,
it
it
keeps
would have
coming
happened
up at
before
news
this
over and
last
over, but-
contract, right? It would have happened
Yeah.
before this last contract.
yeah,
was
right,
gonna happen, right?
And by then he's what, 41, 42? I mean, he can
Yeah.
still play, I would imagine, but just knowing him and his legacy and all of that, I don't know if he would want to come back and then, he's out in LA, he's a star, he's a world global.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any incentive for him to come back and
He would have nothing left to prove here.
nothing.
Yeah,
right,
he already did what he needed to do
Right,
here.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
As much as everybody would love him to come back and be part of a championship team here again,
Yeah.
it'd be great. But yeah, he doesn't really need that.
No.
It makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, do you guys have any closing thoughts tonight? David, we'll let you go first on the Browns. Any closing words or words of wisdom or anything?
Well, first off, I appreciate you guys having me. We talk when we're not on here. We'll see each other on social media and say hello. So I really appreciate that. No, I guess what I would say is I'm going to be, until I die, I'm going to be a diehard Browns fan. I love the Cleveland Browns. I think at some point, we're hoping that something can break through and they could be competitive and have some seasons where even if we lost and we're just competitive, I'm okay with that. I'm okay if we could just be competitive. But this constant week in and week out of just inefficiency and just ineffectiveness and just that's just it's such a struggle. But every week I'm still back. I watch them. Hope,
That's right.
Wish, all of that, because that's my squad, that's my team. I love the Browns. I'll never not love the Browns. So it's just you gotta get up and hope that they just get things put together and make us feel good.
That's how we do it. Yeah. Jeff, closing thoughts tonight?
We made it through the first 6-week gauntlet. We've got some much more winnable games on the schedule over the next few weeks. We're going to play the winless Jets in a few weeks. We've got a bye still. The trade deadline is on Tuesday the 4th. I expect Andrew Berry to make a few moves before that. I hope it's not a white flag type of thing. I don't think it will be.
Right.
Probably not.
But I think we're going to see some improvement on the offensive side over the next few weeks. It might take 3 or 4 weeks from now just to start seeing a more effective offense, but I think it's going to start coming around. This week is going to start that process. We need a big win this week just for the confidence level. So I'm not going to say I don't want it to rain because we need rain badly around here.
Yeah.
But I hope that I hope that the 90-mile-an-hour wind thing passes us by, and at least it's favorable enough for us to play some football in. So yeah, let's hope for that. But it's coming. Hang in there, guys. It's coming. We're gonna start winning some games soon.
We sure hope so. We're optimists here, definitely. So, all right, this has been the Browns Blitz. We thank you for listening, and we will catch you next time.
See you guys.